Another guy who was with the Chiefs, left as a free agent for the Jets, was traded back to Kansas City after one catch for 6 yards with the Jets, Mecole Hardman. He made some news this week. He was on Ryan Clark's The Pivot podcast on what went wrong with the Jets this year. Have a listen to Mecole Hardman.
And I just feel like it's not an established coaching staff there as well. Like, you just got a new coaching staff that came in, and like, it's no standard there. It's like everybody do what they want to do, and it's like whatever. Now, granted, the defense have a more of a stabilized standard with the coaching staff on that side. So you could tell the defense got a standard, but the offense is just like, all right, we'll just figure it out. It's Aaron show. Let Aaron do what Aaron do, you know what I mean? But then when Aaron go down, it's like, we don't know what to do. I was so checked out, like, it's over. I already talked to Veach and Pat, like, hey, bro, come get me, bro. Like, what are y'all doing? Like, what are we talking about? Like, man, come get me.
So, look, it didn't work out for him in New York.
No. He never really even got close to being in the starting lineup, right? It never got there. And it was unfortunate for him. He got a little paycheck for sure, but
That's right.
yeah,
he got a ring. He caught the game-winning touchdown pass in the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
and he created a little bit of a ruckus. He created a little bit of and I don't quite know how to.
What do you mean the ruckus? By this right here, or
He made the comment
about come get me. Yeah, right.
He then tweeted, I never had talks with Kansas City before the trade, so we can clear that up. The Jets handled my trade on their own and did the right thing by sending me back to Kansas City. So that's part of it. Now, the other part of it is a little more complicated, and I might want to put a pin in it because Troy Vincent is in the building, and I know he's on a tight schedule.
Right.
So I might throw the break here. If Troy is going to be ready in a couple of minutes, we'll get Troy up here while we got him. I don't want to make him wait.
Yeah.
It's not like there's anyone else to talk to here.
Yeah.
It is empty. It is a chasm. It is nothing here. So we have Troy. I see him over there. We're going to take a break, and we're going to get Troy Vincent up here and have some conversations about the rule changes. But at some point, I want to come back to this Mecole Hardman stuff because there's another development that is very weird and should be very troubling to the New York Jets. Maybe we'll fit that in later in the program. For now, we take a break. When we return, NFL Executive VP of Football Operations, Troy Vincent, joining us here on Set Live. This was the other Mecole Hardman thing that I was talking about earlier before we had Troy Vincent.
Right.
Connor Hughes tweeted this last night or posted it on X.
Yep.
This is the full post. I'm told there was validated belief from the Jets that receiver Mecole Hardman, frustrated by his lack of usage, leaked game plans to the opposition as implied by several players, most notably Sauce Gardner, today. And there was a tweet or a post from Gardner to that effect. Not just the Eagles game, also the Chiefs. Ironically, although that might not be the right usage of the word ironic, the Eagles' victory was arguably the best of the season for the Jets, while Zach Wilson enjoyed the best game of his career against the Chiefs. That's a hell of an accusation.
It's incredible.
And look,
incredible.
We've talked about this before. I have no formal journalistic training, and it shows. But I have learned over the years there are certain things where if you're going to put that out there, you better ask the team. You better ask the player.
Yeah,
or his representative.
Where is it? I know we got a quote there, and we got somebody else that played on the team that added another quote. But I don't
know what validated belief means. There was validated belief from the Jets. I don't know what that means. We have the Sauce Gardner tweet that I think started all this or led to this. We're not going to talk about how our offensive game plan was leaked against the Eagles, though, and that's a response to the Mecole Hardman stuff that the Jets weren't practicing and performing and acting like a championship team should do, and it was viewed as sour grapes. But so that Gardner tweet came after that, and now after that, this Connor Hughes post that I don't know. It just feels like
leaked. I mean, that's a big deal. That's a big Jets problem. Then that means it's like somebody. It's somebody in the offensive side of the ball for sure. I don't even understand. I mean, that's like huge accusation, huge. And then I do have a little bit of like, wait, in the Chiefs and the Eagles game, you mean when the Jets played their best? That's when it was leaked? Like, that was the best they looked all year.
But just the idea that, and I don't know, is it impossible to envision a guy being so frustrated with his lack of usage that he just says, screw this place, they're not getting me on the field, I'll show them.
Are they accusing Mecole Hardman?
Yes. Validated belief from the Jets that Mecole Hardman, frustrated by his lack of usage, leaked game plans to the opposition. That's what was in the post.
Gosh.
Now and again, if you're going to do that, you better ask Mecole Hardman and or his representatives for a chance. Give them a chance to comment. Give them a chance to say we deny it. They probably will, even if it's true. But that's just a lot to put out there on a guy without doing a little homework. And that's why I couched it all that way, because once it's reported, how can you ignore that?
Yeah, no, that's
and we
a
said
big deal.
It's not proven.
It's a
they
career
haven't
ender.
responded
It's
yet.
a career ender.
As the guy's starting to become a free agent again. He's days away from free agency.
So I don't know if I totally buy this. They got to throw me a little bit more, information or some more substantial facts here for me. Just leaked? Like, how did they leak it? Did he bring it over to the Eagles or the Chiefs? Did he tell them, hey, we're going to throw to this guy today, or we're going to? I don't understand. Here's my first base comment and thought off of this. Right, like, you don't need to have a leak to figure out the Jets' offense. All right, that would be my first thing. Oh, the slant flat. Come on, their offense is as basic as it could be in a lot of ways this past year. Their offensive line gave them issues. They had to go back to basics. They didn't trust Zach Wilson. So this wasn't like, the Eagles' defensive coaching staff and the Chiefs' defensive coach. Whoa, I don't know what they're going to do. Come on. We talked about all year the Jets' offense was one of the more ordinary offenses in football schematically for a bunch of reasons to go into that.
Here's the bigger issue, though.
Yeah.
And it speaks to something that I bang the drum about from time to time.
Yeah.
It just shows you how easy it is for someone to give inside information to anybody for whatever reason.
Right.
I'm acting on a vendetta against the Jets because they're not using me, so I'm going to tell my old friends from the Chiefs what they're going to do. Or maybe I'm going to make a little money on the side, and I'm going to tell somebody who wants to know, hey, this prop bet, over-under rushing yards, should I take the over or the under based upon the game plan for this week? Who's the receiver that's going to be featured? What are we doing here? What's the, there's a lot of stuff that if a player is so motivated to ignore the things that we just assume, that we take for granted are part of the football code, you can have a big problem in the NFL.
That's a rare one there. That's a, like, I've never heard that type of accusation. Those are strong words, strong comments. They better show me some more info before I start to dive into this anymore.
But think about the way...
And again, it shows you, too, hey, inside info, blah, blah, blah. You think you're, I'm going to... What? I'm going to get money off the Eagles and Chiefs game? Well, he would have lost both of those. He would have lost money on both of those, even if he tried to set it up or do that.
But he's trying to help us. He's pissed off, and this is the way he's acting out.
I know.
That's the idea. He's upset, so he's got friends on the Eagles, apparently, that he's talking to. He's got friends on the Chiefs he's talking to. That's the way it's couched.
Right.
But I read North Dallas 40 recently, and it's something you should read. There were a couple of lines in there that made me think of you. And the themes and the ideas and the concepts are still resonating today.
Sure.
And one of the realities, because the main character is a backup receiver who's trying to get onto the field, and he's better than the guy that's playing, but it's political.
Yeah, right.
The coach is keeping him down because he's a hippie and he smokes weed.
Yeah,
and
right.
So
I've seen the movie.
So he finds himself rooting against the team.
Yeah.
When the guy ahead of him on the depth chart is playing, because he
Right.
knows if they struggle and they fall behind, they'll turn to him because he's better.
Right.
So you get all sorts of weird human emotions that come up, that you've got the team concept, you've got me, I want to play, I want a chance to play.
Yeah, it's
so
real
I'm
dynamic.
rooting against the offense. I'm secretly rooting against the offense.
Yeah.
So I can play.
Right.
So you never know what's going to motivate a guy to do what he does.
No, I hear you. Listen, it's a hard part of the game. There is some of that going on, right? I definitely had some thoughts like that in my career as a backup. I'm not going to lie, right? I remember sitting there. I was playing in the Denver Broncos and a backup to Kyle Orton, right? And it was the year the Broncos, we started out 6-0. Kyle was not really playing well, right? We kept winning these damn games. I'm like, damn, if we just lost one of these freaking games here, they're going to make me the guy.
See, you
right?
should have leaked the game plan.
Apparently. I guess so. That's what I should have done. But I remember, you might remember this. We beat the Cowboys, right? And, like I said, Orton was still getting used to the offense. He wasn't playing very good, but we were winning the game. He throws a jump ball to Brandon Marshall, and you might remember this. He catches it. He breaks like 20 tackles and runs in for like the game-winning touchdown. It was like a Madden play, a video game. You were like, what? Was that real? Right? But later on, he comes over my house that night, and I'm like, man, if you don't do that, I'm starting next week. You're starting next week. You freaking Brandon Marshall. Yeah, I know, because you know me. I threw out swears to him and all that. But listen, there is that right there. But at the same time, even though I wanted to play, and maybe I was a little like, I wish Orton when they throw an interception here so I can get in the game. Gosh, I love so many other guys on the team, my coaches, all that. I didn't want us to lose. I didn't want that. I really didn't. I say that all. Like I love Josh McDaniels. I loved Brandon Marshall. I like Kyle Orton in a lot of ways. I really did. I just wanted to play, right? So it's a weird mental struggle, especially at the quarterback position. If you're really talented, or maybe in a receiver and you're really talented, and you can't get on the field, it's tough.
If you believe you're better than the guy that's ahead of you, and you're not getting opportunities, and there's political stuff happening, it's human nature to start thinking about stuff. And the question is, do you act on it? Then it becomes a character issue.
Yeah.
The idea pops into your head. That's natural. Acting on it is unnatural. And it goes against your character if you have good character. And that's why, for this, I'd like to hear from Hardman. I'd like to hear from his agent. I'd like to hear from the Jets. But this is what Connor Hughes
I would think we're going to hear from Hardman here in the next 24
you can't
hours, right?
stand silent after something like this is put out there. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.